starts now.
Welcome to 12 News at 10. I'm Troy Hayden. A big political night in downtown Phoenix, the final day of Turning Point's annual America Fest conference. It featured Vice President J.D. Vance, who the group has already endorsed for president in 2028. This year's gathering, the first since Turning Point's founder, Charlie Kirk, was assassinated in September. 12 News journalist Tricia Hendricks was there.
It was a celebration of faith, freedom, and the legacy of Charlie Kirk for more than 30,000 people that came from all over the U.S. to here at the Phoenix Convention Center for America Fest 2025. From White House border czar Tom Homan.
We have the most secure border in the history of this country. 3 days on the border, I didn't see one illegal alien, none.
To Speaker Mike Johnson.
I think the best way to honor Charlie's legacy is to live as he lived.
Some big names on the political stage took the stage in downtown Phoenix. Donald Trump Jr. even brought in President Trump, who had a message for the crowd.
Nobody did more for me than Charlie, and there's nobody better than Erica, and you are the greatest people on earth. And I just want to thank you all, and I hope my son's doing a good job representing me. Otherwise, I'll have to say you're fired, Don. You're fired.
They also played a recording of President Trump talking about the legacy of Charlie Kirk.
Charlie was a warrior for God and country, and he gave everything he had, even his life, in the fight to save America from those who would destroy it.
Much to the crowd's surprise, Nicki Minaj joined Erica Kirk as her special guest.
I've performed for huge crowds all around the world. No matter how many songs I do on that stage, it didn't mean as much as this, because this is a direct link for younger people. This is a direct link between young people and God.
Closing out the final day at the conference, Erica Kirk introduced Vice President J.D. Vance.
December marks 7 months straight of zero releases at the southern border.
The Vice President reflected on Charlie Kirk's life, explaining how his death impacted him.
Charlie's death was an immense loss, an irreplaceable loss.
But at the same time,
it is better to die a patriot than live a coward.
People who came from across the country left feeling empowered.
I wanted to say with deep conviction the words that I knew Charlie said of "Here am I, Lord, send me." And so I feel like God brought me on a journey in these 4 days where I can say that now.
It's not just his legacy, but all of us carry a legacy, and we get the opportunity to build that now.
I feel like God has given me courage to step in the position I have.
While thinking about what they want everyone to remember.
When you lose faith, freedom becomes fragile.
Jesus won, you know? He died on the cross for us, and he defeated death. He rose 3 days later, and that's the God that we serve.
Erica Kirk closed the event by inviting everyone back for America Fest 2026 next December. Meanwhile, Vance has been suggested as a potential Republican presidential candidate in 2028. In Phoenix, Tricia Hendricks, 12 News.
The event also drew protesters outside the Phoenix Convention Center near 3rd Street in Washington. They spent hours outside in what organizers called a counterpoint protest, saying they're demonstrating against Turning Point's America Fest conference and rejecting what they call divisive and hateful rhetoric.
What my favorite thing about protests like this is not the other side. I don't care about them. It's the drive-bys. It's the people who are in the community that live here, who know that there are other groups out there that are resisting the actions of what's going on.
Organizers said the protest was not meant to celebrate the death of Charlie Kirk. They say they condemn violence. Police find a body floating in a canal this morning in Phoenix. Happened about 10 near 35th Avenue and Indian School Road. Crews did remove that person from the canal. We're still waiting to learn who the person was, their gender, how they died. Phoenix police say the investigation could take some time. It is Christmas week, and holiday travel is off to a busy start across the country and the state. More than 100 million Americans are expected to travel between now and the new year. 12 News journalist Gabriela Becerra in the West Valley with what those travelers can expect.
Millions of people will pack their bags and leave home for the holiday. Most of them, according to AAA, will hit the road. This stretch of I-10 between California and Phoenix is expected to become way more congested than usual this upcoming week.
It's a family Christmas vacation for millions of Americans.
Love to road trip. Love to road trip.
Drivers like Jeff Bailey from Orange County, California are skipping TSA lines and airport congestion for smooth sailing on Interstate 10.
Well, the airports can get a little chaotic. Anything within a 4-hour drive is pretty easy.
And other drivers like Ethan Bryson from Seattle, Washington,
greeted by cactus and beautiful open skies, so it's been great to be back to Arizona.
Are making a lengthier trip home for the holidays so the whole family can be included.
We're taking the pets. We got a dog and 2 cats with us.
Both travelers are excited to see a big present came early this year. Cheaper gas prices across the state.
It's awesome to be in Arizona getting gas because you go to California line, it's a lot more expensive.
According to AAA, the average price per gallon in Arizona is $3.13, a decrease of 7 cents from last week. The national average dropped more than 4 cents to $2.89, which AAA reports is the lowest cost at the pump since 2020.
Arizona is way lower than any of the other states we've been through, Washington, Oregon, California.
Nearly 90% of holiday travelers will take road trips, an increase of 2% compared to last year. AAA says the busiest time to travel is the weekend before Christmas.
It's probably best to wait until the 22nd, that Monday, to get to your destination. That way there won't be as much congestion in most metro areas.
Travel is expected to pick back up on December 26th, but slow down again leading into the new year.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
The Arizona Department of Transportation says they have no scheduled closures for either of the holiday weekends, but they encourage drivers to always be prepared in case there are restrictions on the roads due to crashes. In Buckeye, Gabriela Becerra, 12 News.
Gabby, thank you. All right, Chris Dunn is here now, meteorologist. And the people who traveled here this weekend, they got a nice little surprise. It was gorgeous out there. At record high temps today. Chris.
Yeah, 81 degrees today. Boy, really warm stuff. And that's going to continue tomorrow. But as we do the countdown to Christmas, we're only 4 days away. Boy, big changes are coming up. I've increased the chance of rain for the valley. 80% chance of rain on Christmas Day. So with that in mind, we have a weather impact alert for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Rounds of rain moving in, especially on Christmas morning. So prepare for wet weather. That's what you need to do. And you need to keep checking back for updates because it's an evolving, changing situation. Travel forecast across the country. No real cold air anywhere except for far northern New England. This warm bubble that's been over us, giving us the record high today, that spreads east. And look at Denver's high tomorrow. 73 degrees just a couple of days away from Christmas. 51 in Des Moines, 61 in Rapid City, South Dakota. Cleveland at 39. But they will be warming up as well. 70s and 80s across Texas, and California bracing for this storm that is going to move in. It'll get them first, and then we get ours on Wednesday and Thursday. Tomorrow's record high, by the way, goes back to 1917. It's more than 100 years old, and we will break that tomorrow. Troy?
Wow. All right. Warm ending to the year. Thank you, Chris. Well, the year is ending with a bang for a West Valley mayor. Peoria Mayor Jason Beck recently announced that he's one and done. He will not seek re-election for a second term. At the same time, he announced he sold his business, Tier Tactical, for $175 million. He and his wife Jane built the company from the ground up in 2010. It's now one of Peoria's largest employers. And we got a tour to see what makes that company so valuable.
This is what we do for a lot of special operations. You'll see a lot of SWAT teams, including Phoenix SWAT, Glen.
Tier Tactical in Peoria is one of the leading makers of tactical vests and supplies in the world.
This is our female vest, so this is actually going to the Dutch.
Tier Tactical's founder is Peoria's mayor, Jason Beck. He shows us his over 150 patents hanging on the wall. And he shows us how he uses a mixture of high-tech equipment.
We've spent a lot of money on these things. Each one of them is about $3.5 million a piece.
And old-school craftsmanship.
We employ about 210 sewers in this building from all sorts of nations all over the world.
To protect police officers and soldiers around the globe.
I'm a perfectionist when it comes to our craft. I don't like strings hanging off of things. I want things to be perfect. If you're buying a premium product, you want to make sure that you actually get a premium product whenever you receive it.
Beck started the business 25 years ago when he got out of the Marines. He was a jiu-jitsu instructor who kept getting rips in a ballistic vest he was teaching in.
And while that would happen, I would go to other sewers and I would pay other sewers to fix my stuff. and I got tired of paying somebody $10 here or $10 there. So I started designing my own product, started sewing my own product, and then what ended up happening is other guys would see me what I was teaching, and they're like, hey, can you make me one of those? And then it turned into a business.
He kept improving his designs, bringing in more equipment, making his body armor stronger and lighter. And one of the keys to that, these two massive 1.5 million pound presses. They're the size of small buildings.
It's 36 feet tall.
Oh, wow.
Underneath these, there's 24 feet of concrete with 2-inch rebar poured every foot. So it literally took them 35 days to just to pour the concrete underneath the base of this.
The presses create so much pressure that cloth ballistic material turns hard.
The biggest press in the United States will go up to right at 9,000 and 10,000 psi. These go up to 20,000 psi. Completely changes the molecular structure of that material. Wow. What it then does is it forms it into, so it creates a hardened surface area that is harder or more robust than the material being soft by itself.
So it gets squeezed so hard,
and heat and pressure,
and it turns into this.
It turns it into this.
Wow. Even though Beck has now sold the company, he will stay on to help run it, using these huge machines and hundreds of workers to accomplish a single mission.
You know, our job is to save a life. Our job is to make sure that a police officer or soldier comes home.
In his job as mayor, Beck had a big hand in creating what's now known as the Peoria Innovation Corridor. It's a huge tract of land up near Taiwan Semiconductor that's earmarked for high-tech development. Beck says even though he's leaving office at the end of his term, he will stay active in public policy.